Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, so this video, very simple, just to tell you that why scheme is a T0 space. Okay, so T0 space is a topological space in which every pair of distinct points are distinguishable. There is for any two points, different point x and y. There is an open set that contains one of these points or not the other. More precisely, topological space X is the kolmogorov or X T0 if only if A belongs to X. A belongs to B, do not the same as B. There is an open set O such that A belongs to O and B do not belongs to O, or A do not belongs to O but B belongs to O. So this means that given X and Y, right, you can find either open set only cover X, and or you can find the open set which will cover Y. Okay, and there are many kind of classification, right? There's also T1, T2, T3, and I see T4. And the T2 is just standard Hausdorff. So Hausdorff means that given any two different points, right, you can find either O1 and O2 where separate them, and so basically O1 intersection O2 is empty. And so for T0 space, it's much weaker, right? You can only separate it from one side. Okay, and by the way, if you change this open to close, right? If you change this to be closed, then it will be the same, right? Because if you can cover, there's O open cover X, it's the same as there is a close cover Y. Because open and close are a complement to each other. Okay, so if you change to close, right, then it's exactly the same as it's exactly the same as open. Okay, so now a theorem. Theorem is very simple. So affine skin. So affine skin is T0. Okay, and yeah, so we can start from here and prove the general skin is T0. Okay, so let's just dive in. The proof is very simple, right? Just simple fact. So simple fact is that we know that right. So given 2 points, right? So X is spec A. So if take two PQR, two distinct ideal, two distinct prime ideal. So we want to say that there's a closed set, right? That use closed set that, so there should be a closed set. We don't claim that there should be a closed set cover P, but Q do not belongs to this closed set, or V is a closed set that cover Q, but P do not belongs to this closed set. And then, but it's very simple, right? By definition, because P are not distinct prime ideal. So one of these must be true, right? Either so one of it, so P do not see inside Q, or Q do not see inside P, right? So one of it must be true. Right, otherwise that P is subset of Q, Q is subset of P, then there will be the same, right? So, but translate into screen language, let's say if P is not a subset of Q, that means that if you consider the vanishing set, which the prime ideal V, sorry, the vanishing set of P, basically the prime ideal, let's say X, belongs to spec A, such that X do not containing P, right? So if you consider this, then obviously the Q will not belong to V of P. Okay, so basically this sentence, in terms of the scheme language or fine scheme language, just say that V do not belong to V of P, or P do not belong to V of Q. And by Zariski topology, these are all closed set. Okay, so we prove that this affine scheme is a T0 space. Okay, so obviously the next one is very simple, right? Because we already have the results. So skin, so general skin is a T0 space. Okay, so the idea is the following, right? It's a simple, right? It's almost trivial because we know that a skin has a affine open cover. Okay, so if you take X and Y belongs to, let's say, X, and then X has a affine open cover, right? Let's say U1 and U2. So if U1 and U2 are non-empty, then we are done. Sorry, are empty, then we are done, right? Because they are already separated. Okay, so now let's forget about this. Okay, so let's say the open cover of Ux in the open cover of X, the final open cover of X is U1, which cover Y, right? But now these two are all as a affine skin, right? So they can, one of them can separate to each other, right? Because due to the affine skin are T0, okay? So due to affine skin are T0. T0. So as this U1, right? Because this U1 is basically a affine skin. Because skin has a affine cover. Okay, so if X and Y if there is a U1 which cover X, do not touch Y, then we are done. If there's a U1 for affine cover for X and cover Y, then they're all in the same affine skin, right? So they can be separated to each other. Okay, so this video is very simple, right? Just tell you the basic fact of skin.